What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, the Reading Noob, and today we're about to get into some shit. Some shit, okay? Because I just finished the ACOTAR series. Well, I didn't just finish it. I finished it a little while ago, but I just finished the ACOTAR series, and I have some hot takes that I want to tell, and some hot takes that I want to read and see if you guys agree with them. But before we get into it, I'm gonna need y'all to do me a favor. I'm gonna need y'all to leave a comment. I'm gonna need y'all to hit that like button, and I'm gonna need y'all to subscribe so you can see this face all over your For You page, okay? Because I know you want to see this face all over your For You page, okay? Okay? You better hit that subscribe button, okay? So, I do have to preface the video with this, okay? I'm going to be going over hot takes for the entirety of the ACOTAR series. So, if you only read book 1, 2, 3, especially 1, if you're only on book 1, please, you should not be watching this video, unless you don't care. I don't know. But there are spoilers for the entire series, okay? So, don't come to me crying and talk about you were spoiled. This is your warning. I'm going to give you 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds. Okay, you get the point. Anyway, so, before we get into it, I figure I might as well talk about my hot takes, right, of the series. Because I have some hot takes. And some of them, I feel like we all can probably agree on. And then others of them, I may be on an island by myself. Who knows? Should we start with the juicy ones or like the medium ones? Okay, they're not that juicy, my hot takes anyway. So the hot takes I'm about to go over that I saw on Reddit, those are juicy. Mine are kind of like, they're a little cayenne pepper. Ooh, I said we're going to start easy, but this one actually may be like very controversial. I feel like there was too much smut in the series. Okay, I genuinely feel like there was too much smut and there didn't need to be that much smut. And I like the smut. Give me the smut, okay? I love the smut. But there's like a time and place for everything, and there's like a quantity for everything. And I feel like we went way past the quantity, especially in Silver Flames and the one before that, Starlight. Was that one bad? I can't remember, but I know specifically the very last one, Silver Flames, Nessa's book. That book was just all about smut, okay? And I love smut, but if people like, for example, let me give you a good example. My grandmother, she's like, "What are you reading, grandson?" I'm like, "Oh, this is a series called ACOTAR. You know, it's a great fantasy story. It has a great plot. It's kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling." She's like, "Oh, sounds interesting. Maybe I should give that a try." My grandmother, okay? I can't recommend this book to my grandmother. She's gonna look at me crazy. Can you imagine? Imagine your grandma reading this book. 60-something-year-old lady. Now, my grandma, you know, she might be with the shit. I don't know. She might surprisingly be with the shit. I don't know. But I don't want to risk that, okay? She should think I'm her innocent little grandson. So I can't be recommending books like this. And it sucks because, again, it's a really great book. It has a great plot, a great characters, all that. I fucking loved it. That's why it's like my #1 series right now. But it's just, you can't just recommend it to everyone. And so I just feel like, yeah, you can still have the smut, but especially the last book, the smut don't need to be all that the book is about, okay? Because that last book, we could have wrapped that up in shit, 20-ish chapters, okay? If you just cut out the smut. Honestly, I'm exaggerating, but still. Okay, my next hot take. Some of y'all may feel a type of way about this, but I don't care. I'm saying what's on my mind. I feel like finding out that Moore was part of the LGBTQIA plus community. I nailed that shit, right? I practiced a few times. Anyway, I'm part of it too, okay? This is my group, okay? So I'm part of it, so I can speak on this. No. Anyway, finding out that she was part of the LGBTQIA plus community, it just felt so random, so thrown in, so like, oh, let me meet this quota. And I hate when they do that. They do that a lot in movies now. And I saw it in this book. I just hated that they threw that in there because it really didn't seem like there was any build up to it. There was a purpose for it. Like, I don't know why Sarah, is it Sarah J. Maas? Yeah, Sarah J. Maas. Why she do this? Why she throw that in there? It just felt like she was like, sprinkle. Like, girl. I don't know. And me, you know, I'm maybe biased because at first I did want Moore and Asriel to work out and be together. And then I was kind of like, I really kind of like am feeling Elaine and Asriel a little bit more. But I've still kind of like wanted Moore and Asriel just because they got more history and you know what I mean? But anyway, so it just felt unnecessary. It felt unneeded. And then I ended up hating Moore even more because like, I don't really get her reasons for not telling Asriel. I'm not going to lie. She just is fucked up for that. Like, just tell the guy so he can stop fiending over you. Like, he don't understand. Like, you just like intentionally going out of your way to hurt him is so fucked up, okay? And I feel like her reasoning did not justify the means at all. And again, we don't need a gay character in every book, every TV show. It's honestly more of an insult. It's just like when they include a black character, that one token black character in a TV show, and it's like, did you really need that? Like, it's obvious. It's almost more insulting. It's almost more insulting when you intentionally like put a gay character or a handicapped character or a person of color in a adaptation just because you're trying to fill a quota and it's obvious. If there was some kind of like build up to insinuate that more was that type of way, then maybe I would have like received it better. But that just came out of left field, okay? Like, I didn't know where the fuck it came from, and it just ended up pissing me off, okay, honestly. Okay, now let's get into it, y'all, because I want to read what the internet's hot takes are in this series, okay? And there's some crazy ass ones. Some that I do agree with, but some of them that are kind of way left field. That's my right, Anthony. Left field. Anywho, okay, first one. Amren would be one of the most liked characters now if she stayed dead. I think it would have added more to understanding Nessa's grief if she was also mourning the only inner court member aside from Cassian who liked her. This I actually agree with. A Court of Wings and Ruin is my favorite book in the series just because that one is like so like action, plot heavy, go, go, go. There's no like, I like, what is it? Court of Mist and Fury, because it is like a lot of like slow moments and like learning the characters and like slice of life-ish. But Wings and Ruin just go, go, go. It felt like a Marvel movie, honestly. I was just like, damn, it's one thing after the other. I can't catch my breath, okay? So I like Wings and Ruin the most. And I feel like what just would have made it that much better, like, would have been the cherry on top, is if someone died. Because honestly, you can't have all this action, all this setup, all this suspense, and no one dies. Because then it's just like, there's no stakes. I mean, there were stakes, but we need results of the stakes, okay? And honestly, I know the series isn't over, but what has Amren really contributed or done? Nothing really. I feel like her character would have meant way more if she did actually die. Yeah, so I just feel like Amren should have stayed dead because it makes a character that much more... Damn, I had a pistachio trying to take me out. Excuse me. It makes a character that much more impactful. And then if you go back and reread it, you're like, I don't know, I haven't done a reread yet, but I can imagine I would appreciate the character a lot more knowing, like, on reread, knowing that they're going to die. Like, you know, and again, there's no point of keeping your character alive if they don't do anything to develop the story. And she's lost her powers now, and so it's like, what can she do? She's weak. She's not. I don't see her purpose in the story. I don't know. Maybe Sarah J. Maas can surprise us all, and she'll have some badass comeback or something. I don't know, but I feel like someone needed to die. Someone needed to die, and I feel like out of everyone, let me think. Yeah, I feel like out of all the characters in the Inner Court, Amren would have been the best person to die because she doesn't really have like any relationship ties to anyone else in the Inner Court, and she's not like one of the main people in it. The only other person I could think of would be like in the Inner Court would be Moore. If she died, that would have been impactful. Or Lucian could have died too. I don't, but I know they're trying to explore the whole thing with Elaine and him, and which side tangent, okay, side plot. I don't want Lucian and Elaine to get together. I know Elaine, right now, Elaine's playing this hardball. She don't want him. She don't want a and like, but I feel like because this has been established that they're mates, like it's set up to where eventually they're going to be together, and I don't want them to be, even if they are mates. I want Asriel and Elaine to be together, especially after more especially after more like all the fucked up shit she's been doing him for years. I really want Asriel and Elaine to be together because I feel like they're more yoked, equally yoked. So yeah. Anyway, Amren should have died. So I agree with this hot take. Next. Yeah, okay. This next one made me laugh. Okay. The dad riding in on a ship last minute after neglecting his kids for years was not a good redemption arc. I couldn't stand him and I rolled my eyes. I'm not gonna lie. They kind of ate with this one. Sorry. That is so true because how you gonna come in? What is book 3, book 4? I don't know, book 3 or book 4. How you gonna come in After doing nothing to help your kids while you guys were suffering, while you were poor, they get taken over to a different land, and you just did nothing. I mean, I guess he was building an army. Anyway, he did nothing, okay? We didn't know anything that was going on with him. We thought he was living in La La Land, thinking he was rich, still under the illusion that Tamlin had him under, okay? And then for him to just roll in at the end of this war, and like, suddenly he's supposed to have this redemption arc, and we're supposed to like forgive him for being a shitty-ass father. No, absolutely not. What the fuck? You having like 2 minutes of fame, 2 minutes of actually contributing to the story does not take away your whole, like, all the shit that you did, okay? Sorry, sir, no. Now, did I cry when he died? Absolutely. That was a sad ass. And again, I'm listening to it on Audible, or on audio on the dramatized version, okay? Absolutely. It was so fucking sad. So sad. I cried a little bit. I shed a little bit of tears. I'm not gonna lie. Just thinking about it makes me sad, okay? But again, that does not redeem your character, sir. For you to come in acting like you Captain Saberho, no, you were not that guy. I mean, I can appreciate that you did something, I guess, but it doesn't make me look at you and be like, oh, he was a good dad, actually. No, I'm sorry. So I 100% agree with this take, okay? I get that this is a romance novel with fantasy elements, but I feel like the overall writing isn't all that good. There's a lot of story elements that people just gloss over because it's not a fantasy novel. It's a romance novel with fantasy elements. Huh. I don't know if I agree with that one. Again, I am new to reading. I only read like 1-2 romances so far. Okay, so it's mainly been fantasy. But I think that it is majority fantasy and romance is a side plot. But let me know if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. And again, they said that the overall writing isn't that good. I don't know. I feel like if the writing wasn't that good, this book wouldn't be as popular as it is. Now, again, there are books that are popular that the writing is absolutely trash. So some books do become popular and it's trash. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know. I feel like dude's giving a little bit too much slack. I think the characters and the character development is written excellently well. I think the plot can be a little bit all over the place, but we do have it's enough to know what's going on, and I feel like there's no glaring issues anyway for me. For me personally, I don't see any glaring like plot holes or anything in it. Now, other people that like to, get the magnifying glass and look for the plot holes and everything, those type of readers, nothing to you, but that's you, not me, okay? So they may be able to find plot holes, but I didn't see any plot holes, so I think the plot is good. It's just a good time overall. I loved it. I mean, because honestly, what do we have that's so romancy? I mean, obviously we have like the smut and stuff. We have the flirtatious dialogue. Again, the slice of life stuff. But I don't know how much more fantasy. Maybe because I just haven't read like only fantasy books, and again, I need to expand my genres. Maybe I could be completely wrong. Let me know though. But I feel like this is a fantasy series with romance as a subplot. So let me know. All right, y'all. I had to plug in my little ring light because it's starting to. I decided to film during sunset, so of course, how smart of me. But hopefully, my little ring light makes it easier for y'all to see. Anywho, let's get into the next hot take, okay? Feyre was a total idiot for not immediately telling Tamlin she left of her own free will, and only leaving it to a shitty 3-sentence letter a bit after the fact. Of course, he's gonna think you were kidnapped. That's sketchy as fuck. Yes, he was a crappy partner, but maybe he wouldn't have gone totally batshit if she gave him 20 minutes of her time. I didn't feel the hatred Feyre had for Tamlin enough for that to be justified. I agree. I absolutely agree. Does anyone really disagree with this? I feel like the whole situation between Feyre and Tamlin could have been solved with just proper communication. Honestly. Of course Tamlin's gonna think that something is wrong and something happened to you because you didn't give him any heads up or you didn't say anything to him. You just you just leave out of nowhere and don't say anything to the guy till hella weeks later. What is he supposed to think? And then when you do say something, are we forgetting that Rhys has mind control powers? When Feyre was starting to turn and start to like and love Rhys more and more, I was like, how much of this is real versus how do we know whether or not Rhys is influencing her mind? And we still don't really know. There's no way to really know, because that's what I was thinking at first. And so that's probably what Tamlin was thinking. And he did think that, him and Lucian, they were like, is he influencing your mind? And it's a logical thought to have. I feel like just Feyre's hate overall for Tamlin and the whole inner court's hate for Tamlin, it's really extreme and over exaggerated, because I mean, granted, at that point. Now, the whole part where Tamlin, like, was working with Highburn and had Feyre and her sisters turn into Fae, that part, inexcusable. Like, it's F Tamlin all the way, okay? But before then, and I feel like that would have even been prevented had there been, like, proper communication between Feyre and Tamlin. And that's all it took. And even Tamlin even ended up, in the end, like, kind of having a little bit of a redemption arc because he helped, Feyre recover Elaine from Highburn. So, I don't know. Again, I don't agree with what Tamlin did, but I definitely think that Feyre started it and made it, like, spiral into a bigger issue than it was because Tamlin didn't really do anything, like, super wrong in the beginning. Was he wrong for keeping you in the house and stuff and not letting you go anywhere? Yeah, that's wrong. But again, it just was over-exaggerated. They were acting like as if Tamlin treated Feyre like one of the ladies from the library. Just brutalized and stuff and beat up every day and starved and, like, no, Tamlin didn't do all that, okay? So I think the hate that Tamlin gets is very unwarranted, and we need to be looking at Feyre like, girl, you need to learn how to communicate better, because that could have definitely have been avoided for sure. Okay, before we wrap this up, I gotta give y'all one good juicy hot take, okay? Because we can't leave it on a low. We gotta end on a high. Okay, so I found a pretty juicy one. A lot of people are saying this actually, so I don't even think it's a hot take. A lot of people are agreeing with this one. They all pretty much say the same thing, but it says the inner core is so far up their butts and only care about their immediate interests, especially Rhysand. They're the heroes in their story, but the villains in everyone else's. I don't know. Ugh, that's hard. That kind of hurts the heart because I love the inner core so much, but trying to, like, have, like, a bird's eye view, like a omnipotent outside looking in type of view, I can definitely see where they're coming from. I don't know. They definitely do like go off of their own self-interest. In Silver Flames, Feyre ends up working with a girl and they run, like, some school program or whatever, and Feyre's, you know, talking to the villagers and stuff and helping them. And I mean, and then honestly, how much do we want to see of the inner core, like, partaking in the community, and would that even be interesting? I don't know if it would be. Oh, so this one, to kind of go along with this a little bit, Rhysand should not be High King. Bro doesn't even know how to control the people in his own court. Ooh. Damn. Now, that's your take, you know. I'm not going to judge anyone on their take, but I don't have to agree with it. And I don't agree with it because, excuse me, Rhysand, I feel like he does deserve to be High King, okay? Could he handle his role and power a little bit better? Yeah, of course. I mean, no one's perfect, though. I feel like they're saying that he doesn't control his own people, and I kind of like that aspect about him. I like that Rhysand doesn't, like, rule with an iron fist, whatever the saying is, okay? He's not like a dictator. And so he gives, like, his inner court some freedom to express themselves. Like he says, he always gives Feyre a choice. Would you want to see him be a dictatorship and rule a court where he is this tyrant? I don't think anyone wants to do that. We're definitely not going to like him as a character. I don't think so anyway. So I just don't agree with that, just because he gives his court free will to talk back and stuff. That means he's not a good High King. And honestly, like, what? I mean, they talk back or whatever, but when Rhys is, like, serious, like, you see them, like, kind of, like, tone down, like, and chill out. Like, they know when Rhys is being, like, dead ass serious. So the lines blur a little bit, but they know, his inner core knows when to turn it on and off, okay? So I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. Anyway, though, that is the video, y'all. The sun is going down. My light is just about gone, so that means I need to wrap this to feel good. But again, like I said, if you guys do like this and you want to see more hot takes, let me know. Let me know what books you want to go over hot takes for. Submit your own hot takes down in the comment section. But please, like, comment, subscribe, so you can see this face all over your For You page, okay? We locked in now. We here with it, okay? But regardless, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you just even watching the video, okay? So please tune in next time. And again, I am the Reading Noob, and I'll see you later. Peace.